Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We'll be using the Wisdom of the Oracle for our main spread today, and then drawing from the Healing with the Angels Oracle and the Medicine cards for additional messages. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of October 31st through to November 7th. Happy Halloween, everyone. So if you were here last week, you remember that we were doing some work around hidden strengths. I do like to do themed readings, even if they're general. So this week I've decided on loving the self as a theme. So let's move in that direction for you for the week. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Whatever is most prominent in your life this week, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and hopefully you find them helpful and healing. So, what does Scorpio need to know about loving the self this week? All right, so Scorpio, it looks like a great deal of energy involved with loving the self has to do with feeling ready for something. You could be on the precipice of feeling ready for a necessary change in your life right now, or you could be trying to talk yourself into that. But all the same, you've been doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of digging, going deep, very possibly, if not probably, feeling incredibly spiritually supported at this time. It could be that the resistance to making a change or a necessary change that you're willing to, or that you have grown into here, in terms of self-actualizing and in terms of loving the self, has to do with what you are willing to give up, which is really a bit, it's a very common, it's a very prominent question when it comes to creating changes in really anyone's life. So I'm not surprised to see that. So there could really, at least by the end of the week, be a level of really discovering for yourself what it is that you truly want and how bad you want it, as opposed to what you already have and what you think you're getting from it. And if I remember correctly, this has been a fairly consistent theme for you, I would say at least for the last 2 months for you, Scorpio. So this really just seems to be the largest theme tripping you up. Is really about, what are you willing to give up, and what do you perceive you'll receive or get from self-actualizing and becoming the person that, I'm going to suggest that is the most passionate you or the most authentic you, as opposed to, what you're currently doing, and what the perceived benefits are from that. So perceived and real, I might add. Okay, I'm not just talking about perception, the way you think or imagine something's working or happening. No, real and perceived, okay? So real as in it's a shared reality, and perceived, which is a sense of, it's an idea or it's a concept, or even to that end, an illusion, okay? What do you think you're getting as opposed to what you're really getting? So yeah, just some energy around really feeling lifted and a lot of self-confidence and a lot of personal power here, having sat with yourself and coming to terms with what it is you really truly want to do. There could even be, it just occurred to me, there could even be an element of really needing both of these worlds. and I'm not truly even understanding this. I'm not a Scorpio, but I'm just sort of looking at these together, looking at the energy, the intention of loving the self. There could be this sense of, is there a way to mesh these two kind of worlds? The what I'm doing now and the perceived or real benefits, and what it is you really want to achieve or really want to experience, and real and perceived benefits from that. And there could be even a sense of can I combine these? Is there a way to bring these both to fruition, or somehow have a little of both here? Maybe that's the only struggle. Maybe there's just this sense of, exactly who you are, what you want, where you need to go, what the benefits are, what you're willing to give up. And you're like, okay, but how do I make these happen at once? So if that's the case, that's kind of cool too. And I would understand that as well. It could be the next week or the following week that we'll see that there could be a definitive decision that needs to be made around that. But I see a lot of trying to still figure something out and trying to really settle something. Like I said, either a concept or a reality here into your new life, or the place that you really want to be, or you want to see yourself. So that was just a little snapshot of what's going on with these cards. Higher powers in your central position. This represents you. This is ultimately such a glorious card. We first of all have her with these antlers. She's got a keyhole in her head. Her heart has this big eye in it, and of course she has wings, and she's kind of ethereal, right? There's this sense of really rising above yourself. You could even have an experience this week, Scorpio, where whether it's in the dream world, or whether it's through experience, or even through a meditative experience. And as I always say, meditation can occur in lots of different forms. You could be spending time in nature, you could be folding laundry, you could be having a very passionate conversation with someone, and wherever your focus is completely can be considered a type of meditation, because it's intention. It's where your focus is, right? And here with higher power, we're looking at this sense of exaltation, knowing exactly what it feels like to feel exalted and powerful, but not like powerful in the sense of power over, right? Power with, a compassionate power, the kind power, the power of the spirit of exaltation, which is which is moving, right? It's different from feeling happy. It's different from, say, passion. Something that moves us. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. You know how you feel when you watch a movie and something is happening in the movie and it's impacting you in a way that you didn't expect? Whether it's it makes you laugh harder than you have before, or your tears well up and you're like, where is this coming from? I usually don't cry at this type of thing or something. That's what I'm looking at as a sense of exaltation, something that moves you beyond who you think you are, or even moves you out of yourself, out of your self-perception, right? Who you think you are in the world, all these ideas we have about ourselves, right? This is who I am, so this is how I'm going to go act. That's a narrative, right? And it moves you. You tell yourself, I'm not saying just you, we all do this. We tell ourselves who we are, or we continue to be shaped by past experiences, and we don't want or need more than that for whatever reason at different phases of our lives. And that's the way that we go about our daily lives until we say, I want to put a stop to that, or I don't like that anymore, or I want more for myself, or I've grown. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So something has moved you here internally. This is a highly spiritual card, obviously. Here with higher power, we have the mauves, the purples, the shining light out of the keyhole. Any keyhole symbolism is really just about illumination. It's about understanding. Ultimately, it could even be secret sharing. I always say, anytime we're looking at this type of symbolism, we're looking at occult symbolism as well, or esoteric. So part of what's going on here is you being aware of something that's moving you and important to you, and a different way of thinking and feeling. And now you have to go about, acting this way. And it's just a switch up of the narrative, essentially. It's saying, I am this person, this is who I tell myself I am, and then I'm going to go out in the world and act like this, as opposed to, I'm this person. I was that person, and that's great, and I love him or her, but I'm this person now, and this is the way I'm going to go out and live and behave in the world. And that's really what's going on here, in essence, within you this week. Ultimately, we're looking at a self-transformation, right? This is very transformational. Here with breathe in the influence to the current position. Not surprised really at all to see this here. I know from having read for you for the past several months that you've been doing an enormous amount of looking within, an enormous amount of meditative work, self-study, self-improvement at the very least, in one corner or one area of your life. You're also probably more inclined to be doing this naturally anyway. Scorpio is a really deep sign. You're also a really active and passionate sign. You're one of the few signs of the zodiac, Scorpio, that has 2 planets to your sign. You have both Mars and what's the planet of the underworld? I can't think of it right now. You're going to have to tell me in the comments if I can't think of it. Pluto. Yay, I remembered. So Pluto and Mars are your planets. So Pluto, very, very deep. That's where Persephone was taken to live out, half of the year in the darkness. And it really does mean that. It means going into the dark, going into the places that we try to avoid or we don't like about ourselves, and then becoming aware of them, and then either making friends with them or learning to let them go or taming them even. So a lot of self-work going on there. And of course, with Mars being your other planet, this is the action planet. It's the planet of war, technically. Mars was the god of war. But it just means, action and intention. And it also means sort of game theory. I consider it a type of game theory. I think if you're going to win a war, you ought to plan and deliberate very, very carefully. So you are a very deliberate person, and I don't think you are the type of person to leave things to chance. So I think you've been very deliberate about this. You're finally coming to terms with this, or feeling this, or being moved by this, and now you're almost saying, is there a way to mesh these 2 worlds, or do I have to give one up here? And with poise being in your general energy for the week, it just could be a really nice week for you, Scorpio, in terms of loving the self, just to maybe contemplate this a little more. You don't necessarily, and not what I'm seeing here, you don't have to make a move this week. I don't think you have to have, all the answers. Nothing has to be sort of set in stone or, signed on the dotted line. I don't think there's a deadline for this necessarily. I think what the deadline might be for you, honestly, is a sense of you're just going to grow tired of being in the middle of making a decision. I honestly see that as you just saying, you know what, I'm just going to do it because I'm tired of being in limbo about this. That's it. But it will come after really deep soul searching and a great deal of self-understanding here. So it's not going to be a whimsical decision, even if it's something that is made rather quickly for you, say at week's end or even over the next several weeks. Like I said, there's no time limit here. This is going to be an exercise for you. But I think once that decision comes to you and that decision is made, it'll be like the past is the past, which will be really, really beautiful for you. And you'll have made your peace with that. So maybe that's what's going on here in terms of loving yourself and, heading into the next level or direction of your life or dreams. And maybe you just need a little bit of time to let go, a little bit of space to let go, whether or not they mesh together and you can do these 2 things together or 2 or more, or you do have to let go of something here. It looks like ultimately the question, the very important question of how to move ahead or what's important about moving ahead is definitely in the air this week. Which is part and parcel of making a decision, frankly. So you're doing all the right things. You're in the right place at the right time. Try not to rush yourself. Keep breathing through this experience. Keep meditating or doing that soul searching or that inner healing that you've been doing. And just back to some symbology here. Of course, we have the masks, and masks is really just, you know, what we think we're presenting to the world as opposed to who we really are. And this is where we're looking at, you know, is there a way to do both? Is there a way that you can be that person that you have been all this time, or continue that narrative while injecting this new spirit, or being moved in a different way, or having a different kind of heart or soul here. So yeah, but I don't think it's not taking over necessarily. It's just something that perhaps you've become accustomed to. Here with poised as your general energy for the week, we're looking at really just having everything you need. And for my water sign Scorpios, essentially what is everything you need, or what's important to you right now, is having emotional stability, okay? Being emotionally stable right now to you, Scorpio, not that it isn't at other times, but right now is exceptionally important to you. And absolutely, I can see why, especially if you're about to make a big decision, or if you're about to make a move that could effectively halt or even shelve something, you know, like put it away for the long haul and move in a different direction. I mean, yeah, you have to feel ready, personally ready for this. There is no rushing this. So if you feel like you're being rushed here, maybe take a little bit more time. But on the other hand, if you feel like you didn't know if you were going in the right direction, or if things have been feeling that they've been taking too long in terms of your self-actualization, or loving yourself, or making a move in a different direction, just rest assured here that this is a one day at a time thing, and it's supposed to take time right now. This is a big decision for you. So take your time, and don't let anyone make you feel awful about that, including yourself. Be kind through this phase. Here with new beginnings, really lovely to see here for you. This just sort of exemplifies this sense of, yes, I know that something new awaits me. Yes, I know that I'm capable. Yes, I know that I'm willing to switch up this narrative, or this belief about myself, or my place in the world. It could even be this sense of you figure out at some level how to sort of mesh these two worlds, or these two styles of living, or styles of being for you, that you're going to figure out how to mesh these in a way that pleases you here. So new beginnings all the same, or if not that, what this will mean is that there's a new layer, a new level of how to treat yourself, or how to proceed here. You could even just say, you know, this has been the back in your mind, and you're going to now do a little bit of research about it, okay? So it's just about developing new phases, new themes, new ideas, even talking to new people, or listening to new stuff, right, on YouTube, or even music, and just saying, oh, I like the way that makes me feel, type thing, and just enjoying it, letting it be what it is. Here with Gross as your final card, this is the Sacred Spiral card. This is where, again, I'm going to touch on the term calling, or the term, you know, a great passion, or something that you feel perhaps very strongly you were meant to be doing here on Earth, or something that you simply, for the life of you, no matter where in the world you are, no matter what experience you've had, even if you're hundreds of miles in any type of you know, emotionally, spiritually, geographically, even if you're, you know, away from what it is you're supposed to be doing, there's a draw, there's a consistent draw, or this dream keeps cropping up, or this feeling that you get. Remember where I was talking about you're moved by something. If something like that isn't going away, and it's occurring over and over, no matter who you are now in your life, I'm going to suggest that you really pay attention to that, because that is a soul calling. That is your soul's work, okay? And it's worth listening to, and it's going to bring in a great deal of peace to your life, just like it does all of us when we follow our soul's calling. And you're an incredibly powerful sign, Scorpio. Don't underestimate that, or yourself, or the impact you can make in the world toward greater balance and love and appreciation and gratitude here, especially having so much spiritual power and spiritual understanding here. So you know what they say, I think it was Socrates who says, know thyself. Well, he was right. You can study on any book you want, and you can go to any school you like, but until you know thyself, that is intelligence. So keep going in the way that you're going. Have a lot of confidence in yourself. Give yourself a lot of credit for the work that you're doing here, and take your time. There doesn't seem to be a deadline here for you. Be fair with yourself. And I just want to give a quick shout out to all my subscribers. Thank you so, so much for believing in my work and for encouraging me to keep doing this. I do it for you, and I love doing this, and I love knowing that it's helping some people out there. I love your comments. So if you have a second, comment below. Let me know how this is working out for you. And if you're not already, you can subscribe to my channel today. It is free to do that. So it also helps me know that that yes, this is helpful to other people and I should keep doing it. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. Please take very good care of yourself. And until we meet in the next video, I will see you then. Bye for now.